The finisher is the most important move in a wrestler's arsenal. Over the years, we have seen some iconic finishers like the Stone Cold Stunner, Pedigree, Rock Bottom, Sweet Chin Music and the Tombstone Pile Driver. Some finishers look very brutal, but others not so much. Join us as we look at some of the best and worst WWE finishers of today. At number 6 for best, we have the F5 by Brock Lesnar. The F5 is one of the most destructive finishers in WWE. The 8-time WWE World Champion has destroyed a lot of superstars with this move. To execute the move, Brock picks up his opponents on his shoulders and slams them face first into the mat. The power he puts behind the move makes it look very devastating. For the worst, we have the Manhandle Slam by Becky Lynch. Becky has used the Manhandle Slam as her finisher since she returned at SummerSlam 2021. The move doesn't seem to have a lot of effect on the opponent as the move is executed poorly. The move is her own version of the Rock Bottom, but Becky does not get her opponents high enough to make the move look more impactful. At number 5 for best finishers, we have the Claymore Kick. The Claymore is one of the most lethal finishers in WWE. The Scottish psychopath has put a lot of megastars down with this move. This move actually was invented by a mistake, but it does a lot of damage. The Claymore is very easy to set up as all he needs is to run from the opposite side of the ring and kicks his opponent in the face. What makes the finisher deadly is the amount of force behind it when he runs. For worst finishers, we have the Hellevator by Sonya Deville. The problem with this move is that it looks like it does more damage to Sonya than to her opponents. The move looks like Sonya DDTing herself rather than slamming her opponents, which makes it one of the worst finishers on the roster. She could make it look better by preventing her face from hitting the mat. I think she should stick to her knee strike finisher, which looks a lot more better. Our next best finisher is the Curb Stomp by Seth Rollins. The Curb Stomp is one of the most popular finishers in WWE today. This is undoubtedly one of the most violent looking finishers in the WWE. The finisher is easy to do as Seth runs towards a kneeling opponent and stomps their head into the mat, which spells the end for his opponents. The move looks so violent it got banned at some point. For the worst finisher, we have Charlotte Flair, Natural Selection. The Natural Selection is one of Charlotte's finishing moves, with her other finisher being the Figure 8. The Figure 8 is much better than the Natural Selection as it causes more damage to her opponents. The Natural Selection on the other hand is her hitting a front face lock cutter on her opponents when they are on their knees. The move doesn't seem to have any impact and Charlotte should consider using a different move. At number 3 for best finishers, From the Heavens by Montez Ford. This finisher is a thing of beauty. With the height Ford gets before slamming his body into his opponents is just insane. The From the Heavens is his own version of the Frog Splash, and his version is way better. The bounce he adds after hitting his opponents just makes the finisher a lot more awesome. Number 3 for worst finishers, the Kross Hammer by Karrion Kross. The Kross Hammer is not a finisher that does a lot of damage to his opponents, as it looks like he slaps his opponents on their backs. For a man the size of Kross, he needs a better finisher and the Kross Hammer isn't the right one for him. Number 2 for best finishers, we have the Spear. The Spear is one of the most used finishers in WWE. Currently used by Bobby Lashley, Edge and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Edge's Spear didn't look so devastating back in the days, but his Spear really improved a lot after his return. Bobby Lashley has a better Spear as the power behind it makes it look very devastating. The rollover he does after hitting the Spear makes it look awesome. The Roman Reigns Spear on the other hand has a lot of impact, and hitting the Superman punch before the move also makes it much better. Number 2 for worst finishers, the Rare View by Naomi. Naomi is one of the most talented wrestlers, but her finisher isn't good enough. The move is just Naomi running and hitting her opponents with her behind. The move doesn't look like it does much damage. Naomi using the Rare View as a signature move would be much better. On top of the list are the 3 most devastating letters in all of sport entertainment, the RKO. This move is undoubtedly one of the greatest finishers in the history of wrestling. Randy Orton has created a lot of iconic moments with this finisher. Orton is able to hit the move on his opponents when they least expect it. That's how it earned the phrase RKO out of nowhere. The move is easy to perform and even better when executed in midair. And for worst finisher, we have the Crossbody by Nikki Ash. She actually defeated Charlotte Flair with this move to become Raw Women's Champion. This was very mind-blowing as the crossbody doesn't seem to have any effect on her opponents. The move is basically Nikki landing on her opponents without any impact, and this finisher is undoubtedly one of the worst of all time. Thank God WWE brought her Nikki Cross character back. That's all for today guys, best and worst WWE finishers of today. Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe if you are new for more wrestling content.